In this video, I'm going to break down for you exactly why you're not signing clients for your agency, your coaching, or your consulting business. My name's Harry. I've scaled a B2B done for you lead gen agency to $100,000 a month. You can see the screenshots here. We've had $15,000 days and I've moved the company to Dubai. You can see this is our calendar, right? Let me show you our Calendly as well. Over the last year, 365 days, we've had 1,300 sales calls. Of course, these haven't all been taken by me. It's been taken by my team, to which I've had multiple closes, but we've got pretty good at this thing, which is booking sales calls and signing clients, right? I'm going to explain to you in this video exactly why you're not signing clients for your agency, okay? And the reason is it comes down to causation chains. There's chains of events that happen from one point that actually are affecting you not signing clients without you even realizing it. This has happened to me. I've had to reflect internally on this and I've noticed this pattern and I've seen it for many other agencies that I've actually coached as well, right? To break past this. It all comes down to this phrase. I don't know if you've heard this before, but they say a butterfly flapping its wings in Brazil can set off a tornado in Texas. Right? This happens because one event leads to another, and then that propels it and leads to another and leads to another, right? And a butterfly flapping its wings creates a movement of air, which then gets even bigger, builds more momentum, until it's turned into a tornado, right? And this effect is true. And it's exactly the same for your agency. But before I explain how it actually works for your agency, I want to put it into perspective because recently I actually had an injury in my Achilles, right? And this is from excessive strain during my run. So I went on some runs. I'm actually training for High Rocks right now, if you know what that is. And my Achilles got really injured from one of my 10K runs that I had to do, right? And it left me feeling frustrated, deflated, annoyed at my Achilles for not being strong enough to just withstand a 10K run, which I've done many times before, right? I was looking a bit like this. And it kind of confused me because when I saw a physio about this, they said the problem wasn't even the Achilles in the first place. It's like my hip and my lower back being tight, right? And this is effectively how it works. Like I had an initial problem, which I wasn't quite aware of. It was my hip tightness, probably from when I used to do powerlifting back in the day. And that caused my whole upper leg to be much tighter when I was running, right? Causing me to put excess load through my knee. And then that in turn put excess load onto my Achilles, right? My ankle. Too much load was going through there and it wasn't used to it. I'm not a big runner. I don't run all the time. So when I went for that 10K and I pushed myself, I ended up getting an injury in my Achilles. But it wasn't because my Achilles was weak. It was because I had excess load going through there from other issues, such as my knee and my hip, right? If I had better mobility in my knees and my hips, I may not have even had this injury in the first place, right? And I wouldn't have to take time off training. Now, it seems like a bit of a rogue example, but it's exactly the same as your agency. 99% of agencies will face the same thing with client acquisition. You'll have a problem, which is signing clients, but you won't actually realize what the true problem is. And I can only say what the true problem is, and I can show you what it is because I've seen it so many times, and I've seen it with myself, right? We've probably signed 200 plus clients at this point, so we've gone over the cycle many, many times. I understand exactly what it is, right? You think you have one problem, which might be, oh, I need more leads, I need some more clients, I need to do more outreach. But likely, you actually have a problem which you don't even realize yet. And it's only uncovered by digging out these chains of causation. So why can't I sign clients? What's going wrong in the sales calls? Why is that happening, right? And digging really deep on that. So if we break it down, let's have a look at this. Most of you can't close clients, right? And you're probably just thinking, oh, I just need more leads. I just need to do more outreach on LinkedIn. I just need to send more emails. I just need to do more cold calls, right? Which I was in for probably 6 months. The first 6 months of the journey, I just thought more would always be better, right? And you can see I took a lot of sales calls. In fact, the amount of sales calls I have now in a month is significantly less than what I had at the highest point, right? Because I figured out I don't actually just need more leads. I need a better operating system. But it started from up there. Because when you're in this process of just thinking you constantly need more leads, you're not seeing what the true problem is, right? Until you start asking yourself that, right? Say, for example, you can't close sales calls. You can't get clients because you can't close sales calls. Why is that? Why is it that you can't close sales calls? It may just be down to your sales ability, but there's other things as well, right? It's because likely your prospects don't trust you. This is the number one thing, especially with agencies. There's 100% a trust crisis going on right now where there's too many agencies in the market, too many freelancers as well, people offering the same things, and it's just going to be a race to the bottom in terms of price. because no one wants to get burnt, right? Most agency owners that I speak to, they've been burnt by someone before, right? It's not good. It's not a good thing to happen in this market, but it's happening, unfortunately, far too much, right? So that means, in turn, your prospects don't trust you. But why don't they trust you? You need to take accountability for this and assume it's your fault that they don't trust you. And it's because you don't have enough social proof. If you had like hundreds of case studies, of course this isn't realistic, this is an exaggeration, but say you had hundreds of case studies on your website, then of course your clients would trust you, right? Prospects would jump on the call and they say, oh, I love that work you've done with so-and-so. It was just like me. And when I put my first case study online on YouTube, I noticed that as well. Many business owners came to me and said, look, I feel like I resonate a lot with Preston, was the guy. I'm in the same position and I noticed you helped him and I'm really confident that you can help me because he explained it so well, right? So it's not really that they don't trust you, it's just they don't trust you because you don't have enough social proof, you don't have enough case studies, okay? And the reason you don't have enough case studies and enough social proof is because you didn't take the time to focus on the back end. You didn't take the time to optimize your back end fulfillment structure. You're just so focused on the front end. And at the beginning of my agency, this happened with me too. I just wanted to get more sales in. It was a thing where you see money coming into your account for like the first time ever and it's a crazy feeling. You just want to keep doing more and more and more. But it leads to issues if you don't create focus on the back end to actually fulfill for your clients successfully, right? All you need to do to counteract that is build up solid case studies, right? And use them to get more clients. Pick one specific niche, one specific avatar, get a good result for them, and then use that to attract more clients. It's a very much a positive feedback loop. It's a self-fulfilling thing, right? Where if you help someone, they're obviously going to tell other people as well. And I think referrals generally are going to start being even more powerful in the market because there's just this issue with trust, right? So instead of focusing all of that energy and effort into reaching out to more people, if you just reached out to more people for a client and got a good result, then you could use that in your outreach as well to get even better results. So you need to see the long-term picture and not just trying to fix the immediate issue, which could be trying to work on your Achilles, trying to increase flexibility to your ankle, but actually the main issue is the hips, right? The main issue is your case studies and your back end. If you actually focus on that and become the expert, it's very hard for you not to do well in the long term, right? And it's exactly the same. Say, for example, you can't get sales calls. If that's your issue, maybe it's not even that you can't close clients, you just can't get sales calls in the first place, right? And the reason is because you can't get replies from your outreach, okay? That's the next like causation effect along. And the reason for that is you probably have weak messaging. If you have weak messaging, people will not reply to you. Okay, but why do you have weak messaging? Maybe there's YouTube videos out there that literally tell you what to write. I've got other YouTube videos out there as well that literally tell you step by step. In fact, I've even given you scripts before, if you watch some other videos, on what to say. And that will literally get you responses and get you results. But the reason you have weak messaging is because you lack conviction in yourself. You lack conviction in your service. You lack conviction in your product. And the reason being is because you didn't put the time to focus on the back end. Once again, I'm saying this out of experience. I noticed this when I started my agency. I found it really hard to scale past a certain point because I would always run into this issue. I didn't have much conviction because I didn't see myself as the expert, right? And the antidote to this, the remedy to this was just building up case studies. As soon as I put my first case study on YouTube with Preston, which is still on here, it's probably posted over a year ago now, I started to see way more traction in that audience and with that niche because they could actually realize that I could help them, right? But before that, I was really struggling. So if you're brutally honest with yourself as an agency owner, the reason you can't get more leads and more calls is because you don't have enough conviction in yourself as the expert, right? Before everything started going crazy online, like in the last few years, before, COVID, you had to really be an expert and a consultant to win business, especially when you're dealing with people face to face. And it still needs to be the same if you're working online, right? You need to build up proof that you are an expert. So if you truly spend time, and obviously I can't spell here, but if you truly spend time to work on this, everything else will get better. You'll build up better case studies, you'll better sales assets, better YouTube videos if you post them, better LinkedIn posts, better messaging, because you'll understand the pain points more. It's really just working on yourself, right? Confidence is earned, and confidence will equal your results. If you can speak with much more confidence in your sales calls, you will close more people. I've seen it, I noticed it myself. As soon as I just started not to care, right, and I had a good, set of case studies behind me, and I knew that I could actually genuinely help these people, I had the confidence and it equaled the results. I started closing way more, right? But instead of asking yourself, how can I get like 20 more leads today? How can I reach out to more people? How can I do more cold calls? How can I send more SMS? That's a short-term solution. What you should be asking yourself is, how can I develop my skills to beat the competition, especially in the long run? The likes of AI obviously is taking over, it's gaining momentum, right? But if you focus on this and actually developing your skills, by nature, you'll win more clients and build a successful long-term business, right? Than just focusing on the end outcome, the Achilles that's gone wrong. It's not actually the Achilles that's the problem, right? And it's not the lead flow for you that's the problem. It's the back end stuff. You're not truly an expert. But that's fine. No one starts an expert, right? You need to invest in yourself and invest in your knowledge, right, and your experience to actually earn that. But that's genuinely the reason why I see most agency owners struggling to sign clients. It's why I was struggling to sign clients. Like, even these times when I had this many sales calls in my calendar, right? Obviously, it's my closer taking it, but when I had that many myself, before the case studies, I wasn't really closing that many. I was closing like 5 to 10% of my sales calls. As soon as I had more conviction and confidence in myself, I started closing way more. I didn't need to pack my calendar. I didn't need more leads, right? So this is what you need to be focusing on if you want to grow that agency long term. So hopefully that video has been useful. If you are looking to help one-to-one with this and you want to grow your agency even more, then I've got a link in the description. Click that, speak with me. No problem if not. And I'll see you in the next video.